From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
And we are jumping to the phone lines, everybody. Ooh. Oh, yes, this is exciting. We got a message from Ol Rando. That's O-L-R-A-N-D-O. Ol Rando.
Listen here, old.
Ol Rando sent us this message. And, oh, guys, I can't wait to tell you some of the places I've visited on the internet today. Here we go.
Hey, guys, and Doc Holliday or Paul Mission Control Deacon, whomever is helming the crew. There are a million things that I want to ask you guys to look up, but this one, I'll keep it light for this one. There's this old rumor in Nova Scotia. I'm from Toronto. My now wife, her whole family is from Nova Scotia. And her mom and all of her family members and all their friends talked about the Halifax Toe Tickler. And apparently, throughout decades, like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, there have been reports of people who say that someone was breaking into their house and literally just tickling their toes and then leaving. It's the weirdest ongoing rumor, and I tried to look it up, and I couldn't find anything. So if you guys find anything about this weird-ass rumor, I would love to know more about it and tell the family. You guys can use this on air. You can call me Ol Rando. Okay.
There we go.
Love it. Love it.
Ol Rando. Oh, boy.
He just keeps randoing along, you know?
He does.
So, Matt, you ruined your search history on this one. As though our search histories weren't already train
On
wrecks.
some lists.
I did. I will tell you about some forums I found in a moment. So, first of all, I spoke a little bit with Ol Rando, and he gave me just a few pieces of information. Oh, the first one that you need to know. If you happen to be in the Toronto area, look up Archive Wine Bar. Ol Rando can neither confirm nor deny that he is a part of such establishment, but Archive Wine Bar looks amazing. I would check it out. Okay, so Ol Rando says that people in Halifax just seem to know about this, as he stated in his message there, and it's something that's just been floating around the family for a while. It's always one of those secondhand stories, you know, like, it happened to my roommate, or I knew somebody in college, or, you know, it happened to this person or that person. Generally, it's not a first-hand account that's given, but it's just a rumor. It's a legend. But it started somewhere, I would argue. Ol Rando noted that Halifax is a pretty small city. You know, this is a generalization, but he said people often don't keep their windows locked. You know, especially depending on the temperature, that window might be open a little bit or just closed but not locked. Same with doors. But many of the stories have to do with window entry. So it would be someone went up the fire escape in the apartment complex or the building that we lived in, gained entry to the home through an open window. This person awoke to their feet being exposed to the cold air, and the window was wide open when they awoke, and it was shut when they, you know, went to bed or something. And they had this weird sensation. They just knew someone had been tickling their feet, or they heard someone quickly escaping via the fire escape. As Ol Rando said, there's not a lot about this online. In fact, there is zero about this online. And I challenge you, everyone listening, to find something and send it our way, because I could not. I was unsuccessful. Sad, very sadly. But what I did find, guys, will scar me forever.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Oh God.
Everybody's so conscious of their feet right now.
I know. Well, I guess let's start there. We are all conscious of our feet. Imagine, if you will, waking up in the middle of the night, one of your feet, maybe both of your feet, are outside of the covers, and you can feel someone or something tickling them as you startle awake.
That's, first of all, your first mistake was keeping your feet outside the covers, okay? Because that is an absolute no-no.
Well,
The monsters will get you. That's how the monsters get you. Everybody knows that.
yeah. Well, now imagine your living situation. Are there other people in your home that you can account for that should be there? Maybe it's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just your spouse. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a dog. Maybe it's a roommate. Maybe you call out to that roommate or person and they don't respond. And then that person quietly backs out of the room, books it for your front door, and just takes off. What if there's a little bit of light in your room and the person, you can tell, is wearing some kind of ski mask while they're tickling your feet?
May I interject for a moment to,
Of course.
once again, Matt, Doc, Noel, I think this is thank you. I think this is a perfect situation for shoe feet, which are the shoes that look like feet.
Decoy feet.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
basically.
You won't be caught by a Halifax Toe Tickler if you sleep with shoe feet. So, all right, we're done with that. They sponsor the podcast. It's Illumination Global Unlimited.
You could use the same kind of trick that magicians use to cut their assistants in half. You know, the fake legs, where like the actual legs are tucked back, and then there are these like fake feet that stick out that are on the ends of poles. I mean, it's a lot to ask, you know, to do this every night for fear that you might be the victim of a serial home invader / tickler. But you can't be too careful.
We're giving you options, folks.
We need to come along with a new line from Shoe Feet called Slipper Feet and or Sock Feet. Just for the, when you're sleeping, you don't want to have a full shoe on. But
Right.
It's a good
It needs to be
alternative.
breathable. You know?
So, guys, this isn't just a fable. This isn't just a legend.
Okay.
There are actual stories you can find online. You can also find them at newspapers.com and other places like that, where it was just a small piece that was written in some local newspaper. If you look at the Hartford Courant, which is writing about Glastonbury, Connecticut, they have a story there from 1998 titled Silent, Unnerving Visits in the Night. Ooh. This is the first line. Quote, most of the women were awakened by a light tug or a tickle on their feet. Nothing painful, but certainly unexpected in the middle of the night. Groggy, they opened their eyes to see a stranger kneeling at the end of their beds, touching or tickling their feet. As the women's screams pierced the night's silence, the tall, slender intruder ran out of their bedrooms, through their homes, and outside into the darkness. This is a...
I don't love it, Matt. I don't love it.
I don't love it. I don't love it either. This is horror movie stuff. And they're saying that this is something that's been happening, at least when this was written, in Glastonbury, Connecticut, every spring since 1994. And there was a person that was unknown that was titled the Tickler, who was a criminal that living somewhere near that area that would do this on a regular basis. There were 11 cases confirmed since 1994, in a 4-year period between 94 and 98. It's real. You could read about this. It's horrifying.
Yeah. It sounds like there might be a frauderist at play, right? Am I using that word correctly? Frauderism?
I have no idea.
Frauderism is a thing that people. It's a repetitive sexual urge to gain gratification, essentially by physically rubbing against another person, aka the reason that Japan, the nation of Japan, had female identifying only train lines because of the rise of fraud. And also, this reminds me of God, no, what was it we did? It was Ridiculous History. We had the Mad Gasser.
The Mad Gasser. And if I'm not mistaken, he was such a pop cultural hit that there was even like a tiny figure made of him in some series of 1980s like creepy, figurine miniatures.
Yeah,
That was a thing.
that was definitely a thing. Also, you know what? Now that I'm just thinking out loud here, Matt, but I believe this is not quite frauderism or being a frauteur because it's not involving human private parts, right? It's intimate parts. And I think it was Matt, correct me if I'm wrong here, but did you not fairly recently tell us you don't want people around your feet?
I did.
So this is sensitive.
I don't care how intimate we are. Do not touch my feet.
So this hitting you on a personal note, but you were able to verify this is a real thing.
It's a real thing. Oh yeah, this is a real thing, and it's not just Connecticut. If we head on over to Boston, Mass, there was another set of incidents. This coming to us in 2014 from Boston.com. Serial, quote, tickler breaking into Boston College students' homes. Another spate of toe ticklers, or a toe tickler. Maybe the same one. The person in Connecticut was never caught. Maybe this person went to college or moved out Boston way. So it's really creepy. There were at least 10 sightings of the, quote, so-called tickler in and around Boston College in 2014. That's from the Boston Police Department. You can read this right now online. It's all horrifying. It's out there. It exists. I assure you, old Rando, there probably was a toe tickler. There's just not a lot recorded about the sightings and or accosting. What do we call it? It was an assault. It's an assault. It's a physical.
It is. Yeah, it's technically, yeah, it's an assault.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of the creepiest ones ever. The one in Connecticut, by the way, they confirmed that entry was made via unlocked doors. So just going around, oh, this one's unlocked. Here we go. Someone's getting tickled in here tonight. That's how I imagine the toe tickler sounds. So, guys,
He's a silly, goofy guy, you know?
yeah, not nefarious.
No.
Not nefarious at all. Just, whimsical toe tickler. And it's funny.
A Willy Wonka-esque figure.
It sounds funny. I assure you, until it happens to you, as was reported
It's
in both
awful.
of those articles I mentioned, where once your personal physical space is intruded upon like that, it is not funny anymore.